Attention American residents. This country is facing a huge epidemic due to the resistance of antibiotics that are used in both humans and in livestock. I would like to relay to you reasons to refrain from using antibiotics and the products that use them. I will give a brief explanation as to what antibiotic resistance is, how it is caused, and what happens if you get a resistant strain. Then I will give you ways to prevent the resistance for your own health benefit. Lastly, I will go into why this is a concern for the government and what they are doing about this situation. Antibiotic resistance occurs when the antibiotics has lost the ability to control or kill bacterial growth, and they continue to multiply in the presence of even a therapeutic level of the antibiotic, as said by Alliance in Prudent Use of Antibiotics. How is resistance caused? Up to 50% of the time, antibiotics are often prescribed when they are not needed, or there's an incorrect dosage, or the duration of taking them is incorrect. The taking of antibiotics for colds, the flu, most sore throats and coughs, most sinus infections and ear infections is not wise, primarily because they are viruses and not bacteria. They will not work, according to the CDC. Tuberculosis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and MRSA are just a few that are now becoming antibiotic resistant in some cases. That is according to ABC News. Bacteria that contaminates foods can become resistant because they are using the antibiotics to prevent them. 80% of the bacteria that are used in animals and the resistant strains are traced back to the farms. ABC News. Salmonella is the primary reason for the use of antibiotics in the foods, which increases the resistance. That is according to CDC. E. coli is also becoming resistant, and that causes urinary tract infections, which can be traced back to the antibiotics that are used to be treating chickens. What happens if you become infected with a resistant strain? Well, there are longer times of being sick, more complicated illnesses, far more doctor's visits, the need for the use of stronger and more expensive drugs, more deaths that are caused by bacterial infections. FDA. I need to state this because it's primarily important. Every year in the United States, at least 2 million people become infected with a bacteria that are resistant to the antibiotics, and at least 23,000 people die each year as a direct result of these infections. CDC. That was stated just March 2nd, 2016. Now that we have a definition, the causes and the effects, let's go into how individuals can help prevent this from happening. What can I do? Prevent the spread of resistance. Avoiding getting sick is the front runner. Getting immunizations is the first step. Cooking all foods properly is key. And keeping your hands washed will protect yourself and others. If prescribed antibiotics, follow the instructions to the letter and only use them when really needed. These all prevent infections, thereby preventing the spread of resistant strains. In my opinion, switching to foods that are made from non-antibiotic treated animals would be beneficial. Being proactive. Ask your provider if taking this antibiotic is really necessary to the illness. Do not take the antibiotic for viral infections, like the common colds. Take it prescribed for the suggested duration. If stopped, the infection may become resistant. Do not save any for later illnesses or use someone else's prescription. It may be the wrong medication, which will delay getting better or increase the production of the bacteria. Antibacterials in the home. This is an interesting fact. Have not been proven to prevent the spread any better than the products that do not contain them. It has been proven that there is an increase of resistance formations in those products that are used for the antibacterial, the CDC. You now know what you can do to prevent this from happening to you and your family. Now, what about the government? What are they doing to help you? What is the government doing to combat the resistance? The government is doing their part. The CDC is gathering information on resistant strains by looking into causes and potential risk factors. Some people may have to have such a resistance. The data is used by specialists to form strategies and preventions of the infection and their spread. The action that is taking place to slow down the formation and the spread of the resistant strain as well. They are changing prescription standards. About half of the prescribed antibiotics for humans and the use of the antibiotics in foods is deemed as unnecessary and inappropriate. They are also now facing new methods. They're forming new antibiotics, as well as new tests and tracking methods for the formation of the resistance. The FDA has other contributions. They're teaming up with the CDC and making it public awareness with materials such as websites, brochures, and fact sheets. Antibiotic resistance is a major health concern, with the causes ranging from overprescribing of the antibiotics to the foods we eat. There are a few ways of preventing such resistance for ourselves and others. Refraining from getting sick. Do not take antibiotics unless absolutely necessary and always follow the instructions. The FDA and the CDC are doing their part to minimize when antibiotics are prescribed and keeping track of the manifestations of resistance. I really hope you all learned that antibiotics should be the last resort unless medically necessary, and to avoid them in your diet as well. Thank you so much.